CBA CFP have sent documentation, particularly from Dr. Brendan French, that the compensation process is part of ASIC's program and supervision, and that has simply not been the case because I have not been able to apply to ASIC to have my parents' compensation reviewed. As far as they're concerned, it's a CBA process. When I eventually engaged Financial Resolutions Australia on my behalf to actually contact them to renegotiate or reopen and review our compensation, we merely received this letter from Mr. Brendan French in 2013 to say it had been reviewed, it was appropriate, and we won't be discussing this anymore.
And Mr. French was?
He is the General Manager of Customer Relations, so the head of Complaints Department, CBA.
Right, so are you saying to us that when you tried to avail yourself of the $5,000 that the Commonwealth Financial Planning Organisation offered to former clients of Mr. Noone to help pay for an accountant, lawyer and or independent licensed financial advisor in order to assess its compensation officer, you were advised by an officer of the bank, Mr. French, that that offer could not be availed upon?
Yes, exactly. They refused to pay FRA, whom I have chosen to represent me, that money to do this investigation. Furthermore, Commonwealth Bank is picking and choosing which companies they will deal with. This is not an open process.
No.
They are picking and choosing which accountants, which lawyers you can employ.
So you complain that the set of independent financial advisors that was offered to aggrieved clients was so limited that aggrieved clients, yourself in particular, on behalf of your parents, could not choose their own independent financial advisor?
I am saying that if you choose someone to represent you, CBA chooses whether or not to make that $5,000 available.
Right.
Now, I have not been informed by Dr. Brendan French who has reviewed my compensation case, on what basis it was reviewed, because if it was reviewed on the CBA client file, the CBA client file is full of these fraudulent documentation. So the CBA never offered these people who had settled the opportunity to review their settlement. And when they actually tried to get a review, force a review, Dr. Brendan French replied that the review had been undertaken and was satisfactory. When challenged, CBA's Customer Relations General Manager, Dr. Brendan French, claimed their settlement had been reviewed and was appropriate. No discussion, no explanation. In April 2013, he wrote, "Neither CBA nor CFP will respond to further letters covering the issues." The so-called independent review was based on CBA's own fraudulent documentation in my mother's file.